Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Today, we'll cover the secret to successfully managing your organization. My name is Chris Ioka. I'm a program manager here at LeagueApps, and I've been here for 2.5 years. I currently live in northern New Jersey, and I was lucky enough to play baseball in college at Penn State Harrisburg. Here's what we'll cover today. First, a brief introduction on LeagueApps, and then how we believe organizations continue to grow and scale, followed by how organizations and our partners are using the League App system to continue that growth. And then finally, we'll save some time at the end for any questions, so please make sure to put your questions in the chat tool throughout this webinar. So what is League Apps? League Apps is the leading youth sports management platform, not only providing the current technology to our partners, but also speaking with them to continuously evolve and update it to fit their needs. But also, we believe in the importance of networking with other like-minded youth sports organizers, whether that be at in-person events, through our annual Next Up conference, or through virtual events like this webinar. We strive to empower you with the information and tools that you need to run, grow, and win. Here's a quote by Nelson Mandela that's instilled in our company values and also written on our company wall. Sports have helped mold us into the people we are today. We want to give children of all backgrounds the same opportunities that we had, regardless of upbringing. Whether that's through our Fun Play initiative of donating 1% of revenue to impacting children in underserved communities, or taking away from the long admin tasks that you and your staff have to face, and focus more on the field or court and instilling those same values into your athletes. Here are some of our partners across all sports and program types and what they have to say about our team. Next, we'll take a look at some of the important factors we believe enable growth through technology. So let's talk about how to successfully manage your organization. Great customer service is a part of what makes an organization and sports management platform great. This means understanding your customer struggles and successes and being an extension of their team or family. It also means making it easy for your customers to communicate with you. Nothing is more frustrating than not being able to get in touch with customer service. Whether it be your one-on-one account manager or the support team, our team is always ready to swiftly and efficiently help. As an organizer, that also means having the tools to communicate with your families as simple as possible. Your families are trusting you with their information, and we take that very seriously. With League Apps, you own your data. We don't share or sell your family's information with any third parties. You also can improve your member experience by putting your brand in the forefront and removing ads from your website or app. Finally, the importance of flexibility. Maybe that's around programs, your payment options, or easily updating or creating your website. No two organizations are exactly the same. That means having a flexible sports management platform to set up your programs the way you want, when you want. League Apps will give you the tools and training you need to be able to create your own registrations and programs instead of waiting on customer support to do it for you. We also understand the importance of having your members seeing your logo during the registration to generate brand awareness and customer loyalty. Just like with organizations, no two families are exactly the same. League Apps helps you collect payments, offer credits and auto billing, and manage invoices. As we'll see in the demo portion, you'll be able to adjust payment plans for different members, send payment reminders, and save yourselves hours of work. Lastly, your website is your digital business card. It's the first thing that new families see as they're looking up new organizations and should be unique to you. You'll work one-on-one with our design team to modernize your site, tell your story, and make it easy for your families to find what they're looking for, all while having the tools to easily make updates on your own without needing a background in IT or hiring a web designer. Next, let's take a look at how some of our partners are utilizing the League App system and how it may differ from the current process that you have. Okay, first, let's take a look at the admin dashboard. This is going to be the first screen that you see anytime you log into the admin console on LeagueApps, and it really just gives you a high-level overview on everything that's happening within your organization, from the amount of members you have, any games or payments that are due today, over the next 7 days, the next 30 days, past 7 days, or past 30 days, as well as some quick links. So maybe sending out emails or text, creating any new registrations, or seeing an overall calendar of all of the games and events within your organization. And then down here to a more financial outlook. So overall amount invoiced, how much you've been paid, how much you're still owed, and then getting a specific view by program here. So maybe you run teams, you run leagues, tournaments, camps, or all of the above in some cases. You're now able to break that down and see this view by more of a program specific level. So let's take this 2021 fall teams as an example here. I can get an overall look on how much is still outstanding, how many players I have, and then I can also customize this program summary view to match the specific data points that you need as part of this quick view here. Now going into this 2021 fall teams, I am able to expand this out and see it by individual age group or sub-program as well, where if I click on the players tab for 9U, I'm now able to get a specific roster view of only that 9U team. So I get, most importantly here, can see where they're at with their payment plans, which payment plan they've selected as part of registration, and whether or not all of their waivers are signed. Now, if you do create any type of birth certificate or medical form field or any other type of file upload during your registration flow, you can track whether or not they've been submitted in this screen as well. So let's go into this individual invoice here. And now it'll give me a detailed look on this individual invoice for one of my players. I could see each installment, when they're due, whether or not I've updated the installments. So you'll see here, there are some admin notes when I've changed some of the installment dates or overall prices. And let's take this January 22nd invoice as an example. So I can go in and I can edit the dates. So maybe instead of January 21st, this payment will now be due February 1st. I can put in notes, so say approved by me. And now it'll automatically adjust that invoice date for that participant only. Also from this screen, if you did need to issue any type of refunds, there's a few different ways to do it. Number one, if it's only for one installment that they've paid, I can go in and issue the refund directly off of here. If it's a complete invoice refund or a specific amount, I can go in and issue a refund through here and choose the amount and type in notes as well. So when it comes to these refunds, we do fully reimburse transaction fees on full refunds. If in the case you're issuing a refund for only one installment on that invoice, we will issue back the transaction fee as part of that installment as well. So if it's a full invoice, you'll get the full transaction fee back. If it's a partial refund, aka one installment, you will get the percentage of the transaction fee back when you issue it back to your participants. Also from this screen, if you had to, you can record offline payments through the back end of the system, where I come in and maybe I received a $300 check. I'll record when I received it. And then in the notes, maybe I'll put the check number. When I submit this refund here, you'll see that it's going to show as paid down for that installment, and the auto pay will automatically move to the next installment or the next due date on that installment. Let's see how to actually create programs within the LeagueApps system. First, let's go over here to the dashboard under quick links and create a new program. And you'll be able to see all the different program types that you'll be able to create or generate on LeagueApps, whether it's leagues, tournaments, club teams, camps, anything that your organization is offering as a program or event, you'll be able to post on here. If we look at an individual program down here, we'll select fall tryouts. You'll see there's a few different things I'm able to do from the screen. First off, if I'm going to have the same registration year over year, I am able to copy this program over and just edit the necessary details that are going to change. Maybe in the title, it's changing it from 2021 to 2022, or it's changing the payment installment dates or the registration dates. Every registration has its own unique URL that's attached to it, which you could choose to either make public or private. If you make this link public, it's going to show on your LeagueApps page. and anybody's going to be able to go in and complete that registration process. If you make it private, it's something that you'll only be able to register for if you have the direct link itself. They won't be able to go on your LeagueApps account and find it. So, more so, especially around your club teams, you don't want your parents to be able to go in and register their son and daughter for the team. More so, you want them to go in and be able to register for the tryout. So if we go in here, we'll view the program. First thing first, this is a white labeled experience. You'll be able to add your logos and your color schemes to the screen. And also, you'll be able to customize this with any details that you need on that specific program. If I click into the baseball tryouts itself, you'll see that this organization is choosing to add in a video. You can add in text, flyers, anything that you need. Now, post registration, especially for tryouts, you want to be able to invite the members who should be on the team to the actual club team registration. So by clicking on this players tab here, and then going to player invites, I'm able to send player invites to other programs. So in this case, we want to invite people to the 9U team. So I would go in, I'd select the members who made the team, and then I can send a custom email with a custom message sent to these people. When I hit invite, it's now going to send them all an email or their parents an email that they've been invited to join the team. On this side, we're able to track the status of those invites, whether or not they've been accepted or declined. And then we'll take a look at the parent side to see what they'll see. So we'll go into their dashboard here, and underneath here, we'll see that there's an invite that was sent by the organizer. The parents will have the ability to accept their child spot or decline the spot, so we'll accept it. And now it'll bring me into the actual registration flow. So we'll select free agent, and now it'll populate with the specific payment plans that are offered for this program. So this is 100% customizable to the plans that you want to offer your participants. And you'll see to select into any of these options, I'll also have to agree into autopay and store my credit card on file, agreeing to be charged on the actual installment dates. Now, in the unique situations where there are parents or families that are going to pay at either a longer duration or a special plan, you can create private payment plan codes. Maybe it's the participant's last name. And when we look up that code, it's going to show a specific payment plan that only the people with that code can see. So maybe it's for scholarship athletes, or if you do any type of practice player spots or special plans for coaches' children, they'll be able to select into that option, again, agree into autopay, and move on during the registration. So with the private payment plan codes, as well as discount codes, you can set redemption limits. So that way, if you know only 2 people should have a specific code, after it's been used twice, it'll automatically lock that code out of the system and nobody else will be able to use it. As we move down here to the player information, this is 100% customizable based on the questions that you need to ask. And you're going to have the ability to go in and either add or take away questions. Don't focus so much on the actual questions that are being asked. It's more so on the types of form fields you have access to. So whether that's numerical, drop-down menus, file uploads, or so on, you'll be able to add in as many or as little of these and also alter it even by sub-program. So whether that's age group or grade level, where you may ask different questions to the older age groups than the younger age groups. Next is waivers. So agreeing into any terms that you have as part of your organization, you'll be able to copy and paste your language into these so it matches what you ask your participants. Maybe it's player agreements, parent agreements, COVID liability waivers. You can add as many waivers in as you need, and I can't even move on to the next step of registration until I've read and agreed to all these terms. As an optional step during registration, you can choose to upsell during the process. So maybe it's something as simple as a parent adding some type of spirit wear if you want to sell your uniforms through here, or also any type of program donations. I can add it to the overall cart. So at checkout, I'd be responsible for both the deposit for the team and then also the item that I'm purchasing. So with these uniform orders or spirit wear orders, we aren't going to manufacture these items. We just give you the ability to sell it during the registration process and then pull product order reports from the back end of the system to track how much of each quantity you need and send that over to your manufacturer. Finally, it's just paying for the actual installment. So whether that's through bank payments or credit card payments, they'll be able to come in, select the option. If they already have a stored credit card, they'll be able to just use the same one. And like most of our partners at LeagueApps, this organization is choosing to pass off the transaction fee at checkout. Now that the registration is completed, the parents will have the ability to log in their Facebook and then post the direct link to the registration right to their Facebook wall. So again, for your teams, this is something that you probably wouldn't utilize. If you run any type of camp programming or anything with open registration, it's a really unique way to just add some extra registrations through word of mouth on social media. Also within this member dashboard is the ability to see or pay any invoices. So if someone wanted to get ahead of that installments with autopay, and also see a specific schedule that's generated for only the games or events that their children are associated with. So here we'll see I have a practice. Here are some games that the team has input. And then you also can RSVP whether or not you'll be in attendance for those games. So as I click on the RSVP here, it'll populate and show that I'm attending. Next, let's take a look at some of the other reporting tools that you have as part of the LeagueApps admin console. We already saw a more specific outlook down here within our program summary, but within the LeagueApps console, you're able to run a multitude of different reports that you'll need on a day-to-day or month-to-month basis. So if we look here, there's a ton of different reports from just scheduling to program summaries to even product orders on some of your e-commerce purchases in either your storefront or during the registration flow. But today we'll focus on a few specific reports that our partners tend to use on a month to month basis. Number one, let's take a look at the registration reports. So I can come in here and see everybody as part of a filtered option that I select. So maybe I want to create a custom range and see everybody that's registered over the course of the past year. I can select any specific programs. So maybe there's only club teams that I want to report for, as well as any seasons. So whether it's spring, summer, fall, or winter, we'll run this report and get every single person that's registered for anything as part of my organization over the course of the past year. And it'll give me more of a detailed view here. But most importantly, I can export out any data points that I've selected as part of my either member creation or the registration process. So here's every single data point that was collected. I can uncheck this and select out any specific data points of interest. So maybe I need an emergency contact list where I just need to pull parent first name, parent last name, parent email, and parent phone number. And when I export this, it'll export as a CSV, which can then be imported right into either Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. Down here, you'll see these questions with an R next to it. These are the custom questions that you're asking during the registration process. So as you're working with your account manager to create your registrations, these are important points to take into account to make sure if you need these data points for some type of report that you're running, that we do include those in registration so that way you can export it into the necessary report. Along with registrations, there's also transaction reports where I can get a detailed outlook on every single transaction over a filtered amount of time. And then I can even break it out farther and see more information on each invoice that came in and also export out any of this information. So especially if you need net amount collected, you can go and pick the specific points as part of this report. Lastly, as part of LeagueApps, we do have our own payment gateway. So this will be where you're going to be able to connect your bank account and set how many days are between each transfer. Most of our partners have it set up so that way anytime there's any money coming in, it'll automatically get transferred next day. You can adjust that to either weekly or monthly if that fits more of your organization's cycle. Where this screen is going to show you the last transfer, how much you collected then, what you can expect as part of the next transfer, as well as the lifetime value that you've collected on LeagueApps. Breaking it down farther, I could see each individual transfer. And then I can also view the payments that were affiliated with each of those transfers. From this screen, I can also export out any information that I need. So if it's easier to run transactional reports, or if you do use any type of accounting codes, you can collect them during this process. And that way they can all be exported into the reports to track revenue and so on. We'll have a few different ways to communicate with our members and participants through the admin console from two different avenues. So if we are on the dashboard, you are able to use the quick link here. So if I just wanted to click this and send an email and text, I can, or I can get to it from anywhere within my admin console from hovering over the messaging tab and composing a message. So if we select this, I'll now have the ability to choose who I'm sending my emails or text to. Number one, if it's something that I want to send out organizational wide, I can select all members and all email contacts. If it's something I only want to send to my board members or to my administrators, I would choose this option. And then if I do need to choose more of a filtered view, I would select here. And now it'll give me a list of all of my different programs that are within my LeagueApps console. So maybe I just need to send a message out to my 12U through 15U teams. I could choose who's receiving that message, whether it's just the parents, just the coaches, or everyone. And then down here, being able to choose whether I'm sending an email and a text, or a text message only. So we'll select both. Maybe it's for hotel booking information. And if it is something that you're going to continuously send out to your teams or participants, you can create templates and choose them during this option here. If it's a new message, you can type it out, and you will have some formatting tools, whether it's embedding links, creating any images, and then down here, sending it as a text as well. So now when I hit send this message, it's going to send as both a text and an email to whoever I've selected as part of that filtered option. If you did want to sample these messages before they're sent out, you are able to either preview it or get it sent to you as a test email. And you can also include any custom headers or footers on all emails. Now, with the emails, you're also able to track them. So if I go up top here and I want to see all the emails that were sent, we'll select this option. And it'll now give me a look as to who's receiving my emails and who's also engaging with my emails. So you'll see here that these three have bounced and this one is delivered, but also nobody's opened or clicked on them. So now you could see this as an overall summary count, but in the one-off situation where a parent is saying they're not receiving the emails, you are also able to track that from their account as well. So up here, you'll see there's this little search bar. I like to refer to it as your Google search of your organization, where I could type in any member's name, see any invoices, or get to a member view where you're able to see any current registrations, any past registrations, or pull any waivers. Also, you'll see over here, I am able to check and see if someone is subscribed or unsubscribed to the emails. And then down here, able to track any of those messages that were sent to the participant and get to that same view as we saw before as to whether or not the emails are getting delivered first. And then also if there's any engagement. Now, in the one-off situations where you need to message someone specifically, you can choose to send them a message and them a message only when either the athlete or the parents of that athlete will receive those. Now, along with these, there are some automatic messages or reminders that will go out. You can set automatic payment reminders. So if someone's set up to auto pay, we could choose how many days before that installment hits that they are getting an email reminder that the payment will be due soon. And then also any game reminders. So how many days before a game or hours before a game that you want to notify someone to remind them of this specific event. As an organization, we understand that there may be some other software platforms that you're using as part of your overall tech stack. And what we want to do is make it easy for you to get information out of LeagueApps and into these other systems. So our integration center is broken down into two different categories. Number one is the actual integration center itself with some of the other software platforms that are directly connected into LeagueApps. And the other one is around membership verification. So maybe you're a lacrosse organization or a hockey organization that does need a verification through USA Lacrosse or USA Hockey, within the League Apps registration flow, you are able to get those membership verifications in, where your participants are going to have to fill out the necessary membership ID number and verify it before completing the actual registration. Within the actual integration center itself, these are just some examples of some of the apps that are in there currently, where, like I said, information from League Apps can go directly into these systems. So maybe it's something like recruiting or virtual training, or something like background checks or hotel bookings. You're able to transfer the information from League Apps into those systems with one click. One of the other platforms is Zapier, which connects into over 3,500 different software platforms. Some of our partners have some great integrations set up with Zapier. Maybe an example of where anytime you mark a program as completed, so maybe the season has ended, it can automatically send a survey out to each participant asking how their experience was. So, more than happy to answer some questions after we finish this webinar and dive into some of the systems that you're currently utilizing and understand if there's ways that we can not only help make it seamless and save you time within two systems, but also maybe create some different revenue streams that you aren't currently utilizing. With the League Apps platform, you'll also have the ability to download the League Apps Play app from both the Google and Apple Store. Now, when your parents download the app, they'll be able to log in using the same login credentials they did to register their child for the program. And they're going to be able to do everything post registration. So, see specific schedules for only their family members. Also, the RSVP functionality, so whether or not them or their children will be in attendance for the events, and also a chat functionality. So your coaches and parents are going to be able to communicate with the other members of their team directly through the app, through the chat function that we see here. Now, along with the app is the websites that we previously talked about in the last segment. Most importantly with this website is it is mobile responsive. So as I shrink my browser here, you'll see that it's automatically updating the size of the content on the page all the way down to a mobile view. That way, if your parents are viewing from their phone, it's still going to look clean. When you're making edits to these, we'll go ahead and launch Beaver Builder here. And maybe we want to make an adjustment here. Instead of a mission statement and image, we want to create a registration. So I'll take this, we'll remove this image, and then I'll select a new image. So if it's something already in my media library on my site, I can select it. I can also upload new images. So we'll go down and select something here. We'll save that. And now that's automatically been updated. And instead of a mission statement, we want to adjust this title for winter registrations. And then we'll go ahead and adjust this text. Because it's in white, we'll highlight it to see the information. We'll let people know that registration is open. If we want to adjust the size, the color, the formatting, we'll just make it white to match. And then we can go into this plus button here and we'll add a button underneath. We'll adjust the text. And then we'll go ahead and we can link that to a specific registration that we created. Now that everything's updated, if it's something that you just want to work on and save as a draft, you do have the ability to do that. Or if it's something you want to completely discard and go back to the previous version, we can go ahead and discard that. And it'll go back and show the actual content that was there previously. Also within Beaver Builder, you and your designer will work to create saved templates. That way, if you want to create new pages and keep the same theme across the entire site, you can go in and choose one of these saved options. So maybe it's a team page and you want the same header as the other ones. Instead of having to go in and design that yourself, you'll just take it and drag and drop it into the screen itself. Now we'll spend some time to go over some of the questions that are in the chat, but feel free to post some more and I'll make sure to cover them. If we don't cover them today, Somebody from our team will reach out and make sure that we get back to you on an answer.